Thiruchendur Murugan Temple, properly known as Thiruchendur Murugan Temple, located in Tuticorin district, is considered to be one of the 6 abodes of the Tamil god, Lord Muruga, the son of Supreme God Lord Shiva. No record exists on the data of actual construction of the temple, but there are records of improvements to the temple by the Pandya and Chera kingdoms. However, early Sangam poetry refer to Murugan seashore shrine at Thiruchiralayvoy, which is supposed to refer the Thiruchendur temple. The earliest existing inscription at the temple is dated 875 AD, and talks about the Pandyun, named as Vorekkuna Maran. Thiruchendur Murugan Temple is known as the second Arupadai Veedu of Lord Muruga. Lord Muruga won the battle with the demon, Surapadman, and worshipped Lord Shiva in this sacred place. The temple is situated along the shores of the Bay of Bengal. Normally, the Rajagopuram will be in the eastern side of temples in Tamil Nadu. But in Thiruchendur alone the Rajagopuram is in the western side. It is said that the Rajagopuram was not erected on the eastern side, since the sea is very close in the eastern side. Western Gopuram has 9 stories, and it is about 137 feet high above Yale mattom, 90 feet long north to south, and 65 feet broad east to west. At the top of the Gopuram, the width is 20 feet, and the length is 49 feet. To indicate that the Gopuram consists of 9 stories, there are 9 Kalasams, sacred copper pots, at the top of the Gopuram. And demon by name Surapadman, was ruling Veera Mahendrapuri, an island fortress. He performed many austerities invoking Lord Shiva, and the Lord granted him many boons. Later, the demon became arrogant, and captured all the 3 worlds, the heaven, earth, and the hell. He made the Devas, the heavenly immortals, to do menial task. The Devas were unable to bear his torture, and complained to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva opened his third eye, to create a sun to kill Surapadman. 6 sparks of fire emanated from the third eye. These divine sparks were received by river Ganges, through Agni, the god of fire, and passed on to the Himalayan lake, Saravanapoihe. Here, they were transformed into 6 babies. These babies were suckled by the 6 Kritika nymphs. Lord Shiva, and goddess Parvati Devi, came to Saravanapoihe, and when goddess Uma, fondly clasped the babies, they joined together, to become Lord Arumuga, with 6 faces and 12 arms. When child Arumuga grew up to become a young boy, Lord Shiva asked him to destroy Surapadman, and free the Devas from their cruel bondage. Lord Muruga reached Thiruchendur with his huge army, and camped. He sent his lieutenant Veeru to the demon as an emissary, and asked Surapadman to release the Devas. Since Surapadman turned down the request, a war ensued. An intense battle was fought for a few days. During the first 5 days of the war, the brothers of Surapadman and all other demons perished. On the 6th day, in the battle between Lord Muruga and Surapadman, the lance of Lord Muruga pierced the body of Surapadman, who got himself transformed into a frightful mango tree, and broke it into two. The broken pieces instantly transformed themselves into a mighty peacock and a cock. Lord Muruga took the peacock as his vahana, or vehicle, and the cock on his banner. This event is popularly known as Surasamharam, or the destruction of Surapadman. After Surasamharam, Lord Muruga desired to worship his father, Lord Shiva. Hence Mayan, the divine architect, constructed the shrine at Thiruchendur. Even now Lord Subramanian is seen in the posture of worshipping Lord Shiva, in the Sanctum Sanctorum. To quench the thirst of his war-weary warriors, Lord Muruga thrust his lance into the ground, bringing out water and forming a well, called Nali Kanaru. The square well with the circumference of 14 feet square has a small well within it. The water in the larger well is brackish and salty, in contrast to the smaller one, with 1 foot square in extent, which contains crystal clear sweet water. These two wells, despite their proximity, give two completely different tastes, which is indeed a divine miracle. Thiruchendur Murugan temple was occupied by the Dutch East India Company, between the years 1646 to 1648, during the course of their war with Portuguese. The local people tried to free the temple for 2 years, with many futile attempts. Finally the Dutch were forced to vacate the temple, on orders from Nayaka rulers. However, while vacating the temple, they hacked away and removed the murtis, the idols of the main deity of the temple, and took it back to Gaul, Dutch Ceylon. The murtis were returned, after many negotiations with the Madurai Nayakar. A familiar local tradition runs to the effect that, about 1648 AD, a race of seafaring men, identified later as Dutch, descended upon Thiruchendur and carried away the idols Shanmukar and Natarajar, thinking that they were made of gold. Their attempt at melting it, proving futile, they tried to carry them away by sea. But the sea suddenly grew boisterous, and rocked the ship violently, so the sailors threw the idols into the sea. The loss of the idols was discovered, and duly communicated to Vadamalaya Pilian, the local administrator of the Nayakar ruler at Thirunelveli. A great devotee that he was, Pilian was sorely affected, and knew not what to do. He ordered for a similar idol, to be made in Punchaloka. As the duplicate one was ready, and was on its way to Thiruchendur to be installed in 1653, Vadamalaya Pilian had a dream. Acting to the advice conveyed to him by the god, he put out to sea, and following the instructions that, the idol was to be found at the spot whereon, a lime fruit would be found floating, and the marked by the circling overhead of a kite, the bird of Lord Vishnu. Vadamalaya recovered the original idol, and reinstalled it in the temple in the year 1653. The replacement idol was then consecrated in the shrine of Thirupurantishvarar, alias Venkapachakowal, situated east of Palayamkottai, known as Murugankurichi. Vadamalaya was greatly struck by the Lord's grace, in giving him this great relief, in memory of which, he erected a mantapam at Thiruchendur in his name, and endowed it largely for the performance of Akatlaya Abhishekam, and pujas for Lord Subramaniam, on the 7th days of Masi, and of any festivals. An inscription at the mantapam relates the incidents referred to. little removed from the main shrine, and on the northern seashore, under a cliff of overhanging hardened sandstone, there is a picturesque grotto carved out of it. 2 images are installed there, one dedicated to Mother Vali, and another to Lord Dattatreya. The frontal shrine has been embellished by a stone mantapam, of 16 pillars that 24.25 feet long, and 21.25 feet width. Behind the frontal cave, there is a circumambulatory passage, with another grotto carved from inside, with a figure of Mother Vali, in a niche. The cave overlooks the sea, as its waves dash against its sides.